Sort of the discussion, I guess. So hearing the balance of the presentations, comments, like I find criteria 1 and 4 to be fairly met. It's the arguments and I see the implications. So whether we get answer or whether we get value, the application should be approved just based on those criteria.
I reviewed our ordinance and found that I'm in agreement that not approving the application simply because the issue of upkeep and care. I do believe that with any palm tree, the cost maintaining it over a decade is going to be a lot less than removing it. You need to prune the fronds regularly, and then it doesn't pose any risk. All over the city, you see our WCA West Coast artists pruning our palm trees regularly, and in this case, it would be the homeowner's responsibility, and that's something I think should happen to protect your family and guests. In regards to the other 3 points, I do think these trees look very healthy and robust. The root zone, palms are very resilient. The root zone planter boxes can be removed. You can re-landscape the front yard everywhere except immediately in the trees. The root zone tends to be a little matted around the tree. But there's ample room for re-landscape. And there's already, I think, a great room as well. Shade from both palms and the street trees are giving you a lot of benefit. So that in addition to the maps that actually shade in the afternoon over 50% of the year. So that's giving you a significant amount of energy conservation, as well as the carbon sequestration from mature palm will never, it will always exceed new tree planted, as well as the habitat value that it's just mentioned. So, I agree with the city that neither of the one criteria have been met, but in addition to that, I also would like to add that there is some benefit to keeping the trees, and you have ample backyard to plant the trees that you've chosen on your plan, as well as in the front yard to do some extraordinary things. So I would say I'm not in agreement with the Michigan law on this, and that.
I'll weigh in agreement relative to this. I think again, we get specific on this, but relative to the care, the pruning, maintenance of the palms, that does seem across the city something it's larger than any issue to fronds falling unexpectedly. Obviously, for 7 minutes, things can happen, but day-to-day business pruning does address palm issues. And again, that would be a good one with issues of criteria for approval.
This is a difficult decision. I think with the safety part, the one thing that's hard for me to wrap my head around is just because it might be, hypothetically unsafe. I think I can only say it's unsafe if there's like a sort of standard that says the rate at which it falls or the size of the leaves present a certain danger, and if that is the case, I don't think I can necessarily agree with that point. The one piece though that I did think was interesting was the removing palm trees, because they are native to Los Angeles and there are better shade trees out there. However, as one of the commenters pointed out, the trees that were suggested to be added don't actually suffice in that action. So I can't really see how removing it would provide a greater benefit with the current alternative. So I think, yeah, because of that, I can't, agree with the approval of the removal of trees.
Thank you. I agree with both Commissioner Law and like I live down the street with many palm trees, and the winds pick up and there's a storm. There's a safety issue as well. I did have a question. I know a tree report wasn't included, but I know quite enough about trees to understand the health of the trees and looking at these photos. But is that something that you can request at this moment, or was the whole on with that?
So for applications that are also see good plan development projects, this will as a fire and partnership. Yeah, anyone wants. So there's also the question of cost of maintenance, right? So if we're saying that palm trees are maintainable, that's one thing. But saying that is assuming that the owner can maintain that persistently to get the cost. So there's a question of cost of the significant of palm trees, and we not be the case for other things. So we're sort of a budget settlement security budget, which is costly. And you don't, so split yourself with this. So I think it's fair to say that canning teams these trees. Seeing the number of palms on the it's hard to say. It's part of the trees.
Yeah, I guess my
Sorry. With a regular tree, the pruning process is more expensive because you're having to think about structure and preserving the integrity of the tree. With a palm tree, you go. So it's a pretty routine endeavor. However, it does require some behavior there do the actual work. I can't tell you what is costly or not a risk, but I do know that most homeowners in my vicinity are having to burn as regular ways as the city does. And I also don't think that if we use that as an argument for tree removal, we set a precedent that we have to uphold further. And it's because it's not the criteria. I mean, cost of maintenance is not the criteria that we should. True. But so it's the shade and the habitat value part of consideration. So sorry for having a little bit here.
The only other point is the issue of cost and so we just have to say might be it's a cost that again taking on the property is a home responsibility, it's a home responsibility. So it sort of left to the one case and you just so I guess what the information we have on that basis we can say, oh well it's definitely expensive. Because none of us on this, spend here. No. And so assuming it.
Yeah, I think because I can't definitively say something, make approval.
Actually, a question. that permitted? My question was just, does that mean that I could resubmit the application with an arborist report, and also perhaps, I'm not sure what trees the commission would find more suitable, but we're certainly open to suggestions. Again, my concern is safety is not aesthetics, right? So if you feel like there's a better shade tree out there that maybe will not bloom so large, may not fall on my house, I'm open to hearing what that might be. But that, as I said, it's, even if we got rid of the fronds by maintenance, and I don't possibly think I could find that out for my next application. My concern is in extreme natural disasters that tree would fall on my house. So even if we drew the whole things, they're still falling and into my daughter's bedroom, which honestly does worry quite a bit. What other suggestions about trees that you think are native that you would prefer to a palm tree? You know.
Yeah, I can't give that is beyond my domain, but I think it could be beneficial to do an order support to get a more concrete picture of what the actual benefits are, so that we can get more objective say rather than just like hypothetically think what could be better. To at least answer, criteria. With that, for example, you talk about carbon sequestration. The reason why I'm leaning towards this criteria is because I don't think palm trees are very beneficial to Los Angeles. They were implemented about 100 years ago for aesthetics reasons, but I don't know how effective they are at carbon sequestration and providing safety compared to other species. So it's possible to actually quantify that. We think it's better than that. I would,
Okay. So I would have to resubmit an arborist report that deals with both the cost of pruning and carbon sequestration. Is there anything else that the commission would like addressed?
I think the most important thing would be to verify whether the trees are in good condition, because they're not posing any significant risk to structure or infrastructure. So if an arborist says that they are for health, then that's an issue. But if they're in good health, it's not really a issue. Does that make sense?
It does. Again, I'm sure it's smart day to day. It doesn't be happening today.
Yeah. But, I mean, developmentally, but, trees exist around our city and exist everywhere. There's always growth, but it may be usually better.
If I'm always it's falling, I'm surprised to see basically positive. Hey, Greg.
Maybe one specific thing sounds like kind of shade considerations. If there are satisfying people like shade, providing
The shade will never get to the same value for like at least a decade. So it's not hard. Because immediate reality is going to be just shade.
we're talking about long-term sustainable considering.
Yeah, but I think the challenge is that because you're talking about the long time frame, there's something that's so much uncertainty. There's a reason why the city required more trees to install and remove, because of the expectations. Actually grow all further. That's my logic. And if that's the case, then how do you know that the trees that go in front of them, side of this, side, are going to be the ones that are actually shade? It becomes very speculative. Try to put something out there and say, well, we projected in 20 years, this would be what the shade would be. It just doesn't seem it's worth trying to get some for example.
There's data out there on trees and restoration. I don't think that's but just off the cuff, like a larger canopy form like this, the evergreen is kind of giving more benefit than a deciduous tree or other small leaves, little shade. So
Is that something that we saw by planting more trees?
I can't. That's
Because obviously it's not a 1-to-1. It's a 2-to-7.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on the type of tree. More, I'd say than the because it's planting 10 dwarf orange trees, let's say peach trees, but you're not going to get the same value because
Thank you for the extra comments.
Sure.
This is, require a motion.
I guess with our staff, we do this, given the applicant to submit, resubmit with additional information. We table this, or do we submit these level
If you were to deny this application, the applicant as the city council, the applicant wishes to market report to assess the health of the street, that I think that's the criteria deciding factor, whether or not it works to improve this permit. And Mark states that the trees are in good health, then at that point, we can deny it again at a staff level. If the applicant should deny or appeal it again, we come back to the commission for a second appeal, as opposed to denying it right now, and then it goes to council.
it seems that the arborist report that that should be it goes back to
It would be resubmitted to staff. And if the arborist report indicates that the trees in poor health, we can bring it to the commission one more time to show this is the arborist report and the criteria that we want to move forward with, and then obviously can make a decision.
You will do. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, would
we go for it.
Moving on to the discussion, we have approval of minutes for June 25th, 2024.
all move approval? Second.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll go ahead and commence the vote. Vice Chair,
Yes.
Commissioner Delaporte,
That's so also.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Tom,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yeah.
Motion is approved.
Yeah. Union with City Council liaison.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, public, just a couple quick announcements. First, just announced the big award, Stock Desert Water District. We worked with the LA City, LA County, and then Empire, Orange County, SCAG, Councils of Government, our staff worked incredibly hard the last 7 months. We received the largest award from the this year, our largest award ever, $500 million grant, the climate pollution reduction grant. That money will be used. Was awarded. I was at the event at the Eden Park several weeks ago. Senator Dia, EPA Assistant Administrator Goffman, Region 9 Administrator Guzman, our staff, vice chair or chair. And if you want to look for reducing diesel particulate matter posed by a carbon emitting in all the parts of Los Angeles, Long Beach, converting diesel heavy duty trucks to electric, fuel cell, zero emission, and it's for the railroad yards for the air carbon equipment. We just passed the rail first in the nation, and for the switching over is the transition will be a good movement, whether it's for ships or from trucks, etc. That's a really big thing. That was the largest support in the nation. It's $5 million in that fund. The largest support. So when I think about our city, we sent a letter right now support. So over the next several years, you see a lot of improvements. Secondly, just to get the goal line after the last meeting, we went 2 more teams later with all the board members. And the trains are actually tested by our goal line construction authority. Metro is observing. We will hand it over to Metro in a couple months. First of January, everything continues on. All the track, electrical, everything's done, except the stations. It's about 99% of that area. So we'll turn it over to the Metro has a couple months, 3 or 4 months. It's important that we hand over to prepare for operations sooner than later. The reason is in that tour at the Laverne station, you go one direction and you're vertically versus the burn of 10 feet. You have to have a burn about 200 feet. Go the other direction was interesting. Set highway. We designed a 400 pedestrian overpass into the airport. So literally, get out of the burn, you walk 400 feet over the pedestrian overpass. The plans are with the executive director, the 500 acres down, into a portion about 5,000 new residential units. So really talk about reducing pollution right here. Like exciting out. And finally, again, I just want to thank Ted, Gerber, the staff, and Arby. Incredible job of the police education. Not only the police education, but Ted will talk about hopefully what's going on in the employee parking lot. The charging is getting a lot of phone calls. Came out with Ted, and just blow it up. It's really the public in charge. Just charging stations in the city. So, Ted, you have the medicine to the business starting point. Ted goes in, and we got this meeting that was for the detail. Arby jumped in the last minute, literally in a month, before they addressed event that. And we had a post-event meeting. And Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which is nationally said, they've never had such positive feedback. People are giving away millions of dollars in the press, nationally and internationally. That's not article from Iran. They run our electric vehicle stuff. Great job by staff. We're getting calls when we meet with the city managers because we're getting calls from all over the United States. They want to get it. They want to follow up. Interviews all over the place, so we sit down with staff that we can get it without an office. So, I want to thank the commission. Without your recommendation for support, fire commissioners, the Public Safety Commission, this project might not have gone through. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for the update. Moving on to
So I just wanted to take a small thing this morning, which was LA Times has an article on the page about heat emergencies and heat caused by heat emergencies. It's this new analysis that they describe and sort of double the signal of the rate of death. And it's very difficult to just that. It's the first time for sure. And that's just sort of over the last 10 years or so. Personally, I'm feeling really engaged on climate change. And then on my own personal life, I was at a park last month for a party, and found that my host party brought a massive. I'm gonna try to do something good. We'll go with that. So it reminds me, today is that the environmental issues are tangled, like the infrastructure that we build, safe water, and then also the abusive species. So, I hope we can continue to do the work in this mission. I think it's to that, but just recognizing that and content state of issues that we're tackling here.
I just have sort of a question and a lead. I don't know. Back up. Some of my neighbors and friends have been asking me what's going on with organics, and I try to keep them abreast of what's going on, but even I don't know at this point. From my understanding, we are not yet compliant with the city with SB 1383, and so I guess I don't know where we are at the moment, but it's sort of a plea to both council, Athens, and staff to inform the residents as to what's going on, as well as move forward. Thank you.
I want to follow up on what you mentioned regarding plastics. Definitely notice that there's a lack of compliance with like certain businesses with the amount of plastic they use. We've done some research on like the opt-in feature when you're ordering online, whether that's actually available. Certainly, business online restaurants in South Pass. And I think there's just like a lot of small things that are being glossed over by businesses. And when it comes to people specifically, definitely, clearly there's some like little pieces of infrastructure here and there that would make it a lot easier. Because I definitely don't think that people don't want to be sustainable. It just seems really easy to be unsustainable.
On the note of plastics, that city is being pregnant, beyond plastics, an event for the target events, small businesses, and looking to show different options for them and their plastic alternatives. So, maybe perhaps connecting their office with the plastics style.
Really quickly, I just want to add, there's like, I believe like an LA business sustainability conference coming up. Maybe it's in December. I think that could be interesting just to see what other businesses are taking on, just to use that as maybe inspiration. I think I might go just to see what's happening.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on to staff.
Good evening, Commissioner. Great question. I'd love to update you all on one of the comments we just had. So regarding SB 1383 organic food bank, we are very close to bringing an agreement to City Council. We very recently had a deputy for legal counsel between the city, and we're really hoping that we're able to bring something to the City Council. Once we get an agreement passed, of course, we have a hearing, then the residents will be receiving new containers for both their mixed waste and their organics. So I actually get this one. That's to be a thing. And two things for your own. Should I? But no, we asked them for a few more months. We're tentatively how to schedule how and out so new girls are coming. We have office there looking at to work. In terms of plastic, thank you all for your feedback. We'd like to have a discussion for our September meetings. We've got to get on board agenda for September. Just a pointer, if you see a business that is not being compliant with the opting in of the city's plastic, you can report that to the enforcement, and enforcement can reach out to them. However, I do hear you that we do need education to our business sector, and we have to do that. We have recently assigned will be interdependently to assist the Plastics Council Committee in implementing the plastics reduction items in the daily life. So we're getting there. We hear you. Another thing, thanks so much for mentioning the event, City of Glendale, so their sustainability team. Just an FYI, the City of Pasadena did have years ago. So maybe it's time for another one. That might be something that we can do. But yes, the City of South Pasadena Band Public Serving did have an all-act event where we invited many vendors who had food service wear and so that might be a good education piece to back to the city. And I would love to connect with you for your work on the if you have additional information, let me know. I'd love to go and see that with someone first as well. Other than the commission's concerns, I did want to give a quick reminder to everybody that we are still in stage 2 water system shortage, which means that we, as a city, are still have the restriction of having water for 2 days a week. So that means if you have your address in an even number, your water days on Mondays and Thursdays, if your address in Autumn, your water days are Tuesday and Friday. And for everybody, water between hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Just a friendly reminder to everybody, we have been getting a few reported violations. And just we mentioned that. And that's all of my updates. And I have a few so.
SRB. Just one, and I wanted to address the comments by Councilmember Macchioli. So you may notice that we do have brand new electric chargers installed in a lot next to City Hall. We are very close to activating those for public use. They actually are already working, and you couldn't charge on them, but we've turned them off because the charger is free. And that's actually the reason that they're off. Because the very last step of those chargers, that they have to be configured to charge the public who are using that some fee to cover at least the cost of electricity. So the chargers that are behind the wall for the police and fire departments are already on and have been using that. And of course, those are fleet managed, and we're not charging the officers to fill up their vehicles. But this is all in the same circuit. And our approach was to prioritize the charger behind the wall so that our electrified fleet could utilize those. There are still more steps they would take in order to make these public chargers accessible. For example, if and when you had gone to the gas station in the past, you'll notice that the pump at the gas station is regulated by the Division of Weights and Measures and under the Agricultural Commission, and that's really to make sure that you're being fairly charged for the amount of gas that you pump. The same requirement applies to electric vehicle chargers. So we have already gone that process, and we've gotten that calibration certified. The last step is to actually set up a financial policy, the city council, and how it's going to work, because these are actually the city's first city-owned, publicly acceptable electric vehicle chargers. So we're breaking new territory, opening these up to the public. We have to provide a model for how we pay for the electricity and how both city staff and the public will use and how these chargers are restricted. So one idea is that the chargers are only for staff during regular business hours. because we realized that a lot of parking is open to the public. And after that, we really have to just basically develop that model to get council as a budget metric. So that's really what we're expecting to do. We achieve that next month, and then be able to charge your electric vehicle here at City Hall. So haven't taken any questions on that, but that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No further items. Meeting for the NREC. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
You get this,